If I did a 38 combo in an arena, everyone would be going absolutely bonkers. And I feel like I'd be a superstar right now. I come in healthy, you pay your boy more, so I don't got to do anything else but focus on fighting. 1000% guarantee you guys, you will see your first Filipino champ.
Oh,
Conor McGregor could not come up to featherweight now. Look, he beat a bunch of and a young Max Holloway. Look at the two guys I beat. They're heckin' big and athletic, you know? I actually don't think it's that big of a deal. Taco Raba smokes cigarettes every day. I remember I met him because we fought in the same card right after Wayne's eating Nutella. I'm like, just with a finger, bro. I'm like, bro, like, use a damn stick. That's why that's in there. You know? Like,
early prediction?
I'll go with Carlos Prates right now. He has a full camp behind him. Ian Machado is taking a short notice, and, you know, he's a cuck.
Welcome back to the Casuals MMA. We are a combat sports and MMA show hosted by very, very, very casual fans. My name is Gilbert. That runner from Somalia is David.
Somalia?
I am the captain now.
He is the captain now. And we also have my new favorite nickname for Nick, not wonton ears, but Mayhem said pot stickers is Nick Dunn.
I don't like that.
You
Take
love
that back.
Guys, we have a very special guest. If you like one punches, whatever. If you like two punches, whatever. If you want to call a three as a mid holder, you're a loser because we have 38 punch combo Filipino superstar all the way from the Bay Area, Hyder Amil.
Hey.
Bro.
Our first undefeated fighter on the show.
Sorry, TJ Dillashaw, you lost.
Yeah.
He's better than you. Dude.
Oh, yeah. Nothing but L's except for you.
You, man. So I want to start here. A lot of people, know you for your 38 punch combo, Tekken combo. But
Broke a record.
Spoke to a couple people. Spoke to Gil Melendez. Spoke to your Southwest Airlines friend, Mark. And you used to scrap in the streets back in the day. I heard you were in a street fight and that the referee was a crackhead. Is that true or false?
Yeah, it is.
I thought you were going to say no.
Where'd you grow up again?
I grew up in the Bay Area, different neighborhoods in the Bay Area.
What parts?
That was
He's from the Bay.
that one was in Oakland, downtown Oakland at midnight.
There we go.
That's why. And I mostly grew up in San Rafael, but when I was like 16, 17, I moved to Magazine Street in Vallejo. That's where E40's from.
Valley Joe, baby.
And so I just grew up different neighborhoods, and because I'm mixed. My name's Hyder, I'm mixed. No one knows what the hell I am. So I got, like when you're different from like, I grew up in Marin, we're mostly white or we're mostly black and all that. Everyone's going to try to like pick on you or something. But like they, I forgot what comedian said, like if you see one dude and all his friends are black or whatever, don't be afraid of that dude. Don't be afraid of the black dude. Be afraid of the dude that earned all the respect to be friends with them, you know? So I always had to earn it everywhere I go. And, beating people's ass was one way to do it.
Why was a crackhead a referee? Like, he was just like smoking crack. Hey, make sure nobody gets knocked out. Back of the head. Cut it out. Got it, baby.
So it was, I forgot where I was going with my girlfriend, and a lot of times.
But how old were you?
I was like 19 or something like that, and I wasn't training, and I had a super hot girlfriend. So everybody always tries to do, try to make me look like a fool or whatever. So there's this big ass football player dude, and he was trying to clown on me, and so when I was at the bus stop waiting for the bus with my girl, and he starts running his mouth, blah blah blah, trying to punk me in front of my girl. So I was like, if you want some, we can get it right here, and so that's what we did. And then we fought for a long time with all these bums and crackheads, and the crackhead wanted to be he was a crackhead. Crackheads do what crackheads do, So he wanted a ref.
Hey, don't grab the glove.
Yeah, exactly. But we fought on the middle of I was the longest, hardest street fight I've ever had because the dude was huge. And in Oakland, you're not just fighting some dude who never fought. You're fighting a dude who's fought a street fight his whole life. So when we got into wrestling, he was rolling up my shirt. He knew all these tactics, and you knew it was going to be a hard fight when the guy starts throwing up a guard, double jabbing, moving his head. I shot a single. He knew how to whizzer, stuff that head.
What kind of street fight is this?
I'm telling you, dude, it was crazy.
He doesn't even know what the moves are.
And
He's been in so many fights.
He's been in so many, exactly. And, his instincts. When you've been in so many fights and you're an athlete, like it's gonna be a hard fight, And so I still beat him. I threw him on his back, and beat up on him, and at the end, the crackhead raised my hand.
Dude, he finds a belt, puts it into the trash bag.
Did you also wash your hands after immediately? Like, hey, bro, thanks. Oh, fuck.
I should have did that, but yeah. So yeah, even all the bums were like, and these are guys who probably seen a lot of fights. They were like, "That's the best fight I ever saw." So that was pretty cool.
It's like, yeah, you don't own a TV, bro. Of course, it's the best fight you've ever seen.
I'm gonna be honest. I've probably been in a fight in every situation, against every race, against every weight. I'm in a fight in a moving car. I'm in a fight in a kitchen. I'm in a fight in a freaking bedroom. I'm in a fight everywhere.
I heard you fought someone in a mall, right? When you were 16 and said, how does it feel to get knocked out by a 16-year-old?
Yeah.
Why are you fighting by a Spencer's?
I've had so many fights at that mall, but one...
Which mall?
It was in San Rafael, actually, because it's, the suburbs or whatever, but at the mall at the time, that's where everybody goes, all degenerates and stuff like that. And so when I went there, and because at the time I was, everyone knew me as a fighter, all my friends would run their mouth. So my friends would call this guy a bitch, call him that. I'm like, all right, you go fight his ass. And they don't want, I'm like, so they obviously can't fight, and I end up having to fight. And yeah, so that story came up because now I'm in the UFC, people come up to me every now and then from my hometown saying, hey, I remember this fight. And I've been in so many fights, I don't remember most of these fights.
That's crazy, dude. Bro.
So they're telling me I'm doing the Kill Bill on someone's head with a refrigerator. I've been like, I'm like, what? And I was like, yeah, so I had all these fights been hit with the face of the bottle, guns pull on me. I have no idea why, because I'm not really I've always been a pretty chill dude.
No, I think the problem's you, dude. If all these fights,
somebody in a crib. I fought somebody at church.
Why does everyone keep fighting?
Maybe I need to take a hard look at myself.
That'd be so funny if there's CCTV footage of you and it's just somebody saying hi. You're like, hi, what, bitch?
Well, yeah. I used to have this thing where anyone look at me, stare at me any kind of crazy way, or just even stare at me, I'm saying what's up, and I grew up in the Philippines on a slum, and I was the only I was the only mixed kid. My dad was Muslim, and so I had the last house. And in the Philippines, it's a bunch of stilt huts, and it's a dirt road, right?
Look at him, dude.
Yeah,
hey, still there.
He's still here, baby.
Hey, how's your heart doing? So much rainwater.
So that's where it all started, and yeah, so my dad told me, because all these kids do hella rocks at me, and I was bleeding and bruised and all that. And so I come back home, and my dad's a hard ass, and he said, why'd you run away? I'm like, because there's 20 kids throwing rocks at me. How am I supposed to? I'm 5 years old, the leader's 12 years old, and they're throwing a bunch of rocks at me, and he's like, well, you're a coward. And I don't even know what the word meant. It's that's the worst thing you could ever be.
Dad, you go out there, he goes, I don't know about that.
No, my dad, so my dad is, my dad, he was never an athlete, he was just a businessman, and my dad could grab a coconut and punch it one time and crack it,
What the fuck?
My dad's a big
he's
dude,
not Filipino.
and he's not.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he showed me how to make a fist and where to punch anyone. It's never back down again. And so I just made that a rule. Anytime someone runs their mouth on me, it's on. And so that just stuck with me. Until I got in a lot of trouble, yeah, it stuck with me.
Did your dad ever have a talk with you? He's like, you know what I said about the coconut thing? Just one time.
You do it too much.
Every day.
Not in a moving car.
So my dad was, he was very abusive, and he had that, hot-blooded temper and stuff like that. So my mom just had it because abusing my mom, and he used to abuse me so bad, as a kid I remember when I was 4, my sister was 3. My sister told my friend this story. I didn't remember. She's like, Hyder, we're going to run away at 4. She was 4 and I was 3. We're going to run away because your dad is just too much, And what really crossed the line for me is I had this rabbit, right? And my dad sold my rabbit to be eaten by the neighbor. But when I would my dad would beat me up.
You're making the Philippines sound terrible.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, my dad's not Filipino. Remember, my dad's not Filipino. Okay. And so my dad, because he would abuse me so much, this rabbit was like my refuge, my my little innocent thing. So when he took that from me and sold it to get eaten, I didn't think that anyone could even eat something so cute, and so that's when like I had a little darkness in me, and that's when like Mike Tyson and his pigeons, Manny Pacquiao and his dog, it was me and my rabbit. And for all of us, it gave us anger, it gave us hate, gave us pain, and made us want to inflict pain on others. So that's why,
bro, that's some John Wick shit, dude.
Yeah, so that's what
dude,
it made
that
me
is some
fucked
John
up.
Wick shit, dude.
Yeah, it made
rabbit.
Yeah, so that's
go out there and just.
Yeah, exactly. And so my mom was like, "Hey, we're gonna sneak away, go jump on this plane, go to America," and that's what we did.
Wow.
Damn, that's
crazy.
Yeah.
So you never saw him since?
So someone tipped my dad off, and as I was getting to the plane, my dad ran through the airport, and as I was getting to the plane, he tried to convince us to stay.
Nah.
And that was the last time I saw him. He was giving one last hug, and then got on the plane and left.
Holy shit.
You haven't seen him?
I haven't seen him since.
Wow.
Holy shit,
and,
dude. Your fucking origin story is nuts, man.
That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that.
That's some John Wick. That's literally some John Wick shit, dude.
Yeah, my dad actually, you know what? I last spoke to him right before a wrestling tournament, and I won it the next day when I was 15, and he actually died 2 weeks before this last fight.
Oof.
And you know what? I used to be so mad. I used to be so mad at him when I was younger, but as I got older, because the reason why he's so messed up is because he's a gambler. And when people have addiction, it doesn't matter how good you are, the alcohol, drug, it changes someone a lot of times from a good person to a bad person, especially if they have a gambling money addiction or crack, whatever it is, it'll change a person, And I'm not going to lie, you'd say the father sins, the son sins in the Bible or whatever. I feel a lot of the same things he has in me now. He gambles with money, I gamble with my life, kind of, He kind of, not the best, person, and for a long time, I was not, I could have been better as a person, honestly, and that's why I feel like I've been doing a lot of makeup work and trying to be, like, the best person I can be, and so just because I was just so, I didn't realize how much PTSD I had from being abused. I didn't realize how much until I got, I went and found my own therapy, and dude, it's brought me to here, and because when you have peace in your heart, it's amazing how much the trajectory, how much you can progress when you have peace inside you.
Do you think, this is kind of probably a little too deep, but do you think your dad treated you guys a certain way based on how, his day went with his gambling, right? So it's like if he had a good day gambling, he would treat you guys better.
Good
if it was
move,
bad, he would take it out on you guys.
Absolutely. And he would never abuse my sisters, but he would definitely abuse me. He wouldn't even let my mom hug me. Because my dad only wanted me to be hard, and tough my whole life. So it was just like, no hugging, Hyder gets beat up, me this, me that. And so, because my dad had many sons, but I'm the only one named after him,
Oh, you're a junior.
Yeah, so I'm Hyder Jr. I have 4 older half-brothers, and my dad had kids with a bunch of women and stuff like that.
Probably getting busy, huh?
Yeah, so my dad was a womanizer.
Muslim.
Yeah, exactly. My dad was a womanizer and stuff like that. But I'm going to be honest, after understanding myself more and seeing how we're so similar, I wanted to have that closure with him and talk to him and see where it all went wrong, this and that. And now that ship has sailed because he's dead, it kind of like, I don't know, man. I wanted that closure. Let's just put it that way. It kind of sucked. I haven't seen him in a while. I just wanted that. I wanted to learn and understand that, because he is human. And I don't believe that my mom got with someone who's a complete piece of shit. Because my mom is such an honest, great person that I think he was a good guy at a certain point. And what my other relatives have to say about him was he's a very good guy. Except my experience with him was the complete opposite. So,
Do you feel like all that anger you kind of let go now since his passing, or do you it's still there, the resentment?
That's when things happen like that, it's hard to say, but I feel like I'll always have this like inferno inside me, I'll always have like this fire inside me and like kind of almost like a rage, I have to say, and until I'm done with fighting and having this outlet, which has given me so much peace and stuff like that, it's given me everything, God take it, God give it. So everything I never had from being poor and not having my dad coming here and stuff like that, I got 10 times more because I turned that negativity into positivity. You know
what's interesting too? I know a friend too who kind of went through a similar thing you did, but it's weird because if you look at my friend and you look at his dad, so out of all the kids that they had, he also mistreated this one kid the most. Like he had a sister, he had a brother. The sister didn't know this side of their father because they only treated this one child, which was my friend, right? Yeah. And the sister didn't know about this, and the older brother didn't know either. One of the things that he found out over years of just like kind of, obviously talking to people, getting to talk to his mom and other relatives, is that his father saw himself in his kid, the one kid.
Yeah.
So everything that he hated about himself, he didn't want this child to have because they were the splitting image of him.
Yeah.
If you looked at a photo of him and his father at the same age, they're twins.
Yeah.
And so if his son did something better than him, it made him feel bad about himself.
Yeah.
Right? So all his personal anger and angst, that kid was actually his favorite kid. But because it reminded him of himself, like all the bad stuff that he would do, he was shit on this one kid so fucking much. And he never got closure either because before his father passed away, he apologized to the other two relatives, but never apologized to him because he thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, I did all this for you. Like, I toughened you up. I was doing all this stuff. But, in his mind, he doesn't understand that that's not what a child needed, right? I am not your therapy for you to fix your personal issues through me, and I think, like, that's kind of a hard chapter to close because you'll never get that personal closure. And maybe even if you did talk to him, he probably wouldn't have been able to say anything because maybe in his mind, he thought he was doing the best for you,
That is 100%. Because my dad, I'm named after him, and we both, my dad's an artist, and I am an artist. So ever since I was 3, I could draw a car starting from the wheels up. I could just, if you saw some of my art, people were really surprised I'm a fighter who knows me by art. Because growing up, I have murals in Berkeley and Oakland.
Oh, wow.
You do that kind of shit.
Paint. I
was like,
ceramics.
this guy just sketches in a book. He's like, no, I fucking mural.
I can do anything art. I can do anything art.
Wow.
Anything art, I can paint, whatever. I could just naturally always do it, And I used to do cartoons for my friends and people. But that's why I like martial arts so much, Because and then all my friends.
Oh shit!
And so, so I did that.
Oh
shit! So I did that. In like an hour.
What?
Yeah,
what you mean an hour, bro? What the fuck?
Yeah, so I do because I'm so like ADD. Like I got this one. I like this one because I had like 5 markers. I had a permanent marker, highlighter, and like 3 or 4 colors. And I just wanted to see what I could make with it, and so I just made that from the top.
You said 1
Are you
hour?
also a Jabberwocky, perhaps?
I can dance a little bit, bro. Filipino, you can do a little something,
Karaoke master, just all the basics.
Nick, your mouth is looking a little funky, my friend.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate that.
Dude, like, you should just wear a mouthpiece when you're sparring.
Have you guys ever got into a fist fight with your sister?
Oh, God. Wait.
What about both of them?
Yeah. This guy has 2 sisters. Nick's teeth are so fucked up right now because both his sisters just led the big on him all day.
They hold my arms down and punch me in the face.
Yep, and guess what? If he had a custom fit or perhaps a quick fit mouth guard,
at least,
it wouldn't have been a problem. And by who, Gilbert?
Impact mouth guards. That could have saved Nick $1,000 in dental work.
I had to wear headgear after that.
Hey, tell me about wearing a mouthpiece in grappling.
Well, you have to because people elbow you, they knee you, they headbutt you on accident because they're a little spazzy. So you need to protect yourself at all times, and you need to wear a mouthpiece.
You know what's crazy? We're all wearing Impact mouth guards right now. Check out our smiles. Make sure you get your quick fit and your custom fit. Quick fit's only $29 and the custom fit is $59. It is family-run business for over 14 years at Alpharetta, Georgia, my hometown. Make sure you get your Impact mouth guard.
Oh, shit.
So that's just, I feel like all Filipinos are good at art and dancing. Like everyone, so like, it is being Asian, there's a lot of pressure in our family, So everyone in my family, even though we came here poor, everyone got out of it quick because everyone's smart and hardworking, everyone became a doctor, a lawyer, and became something, and then so my mom's also hard ass like crazy, and she was like, what are you doing fighting? Everyone's like, what the hell are you doing fighting? And so
how did you even get into that?
Yeah.
So you said wrestling tournaments. So you were a wrestler first in high school.
So I actually PE freshman year, everyone realized like I was like pretty athletic. So everyone's like, dude, everyone pushed me to do football. They're like, so I started off as running back,
A Filipino running back.
Yeah, I know.
Quick.
Yeah, I was pretty quick, and I was pound for pound pretty strong. I've always been pretty strong when I was a kid, and I couldn't memorize the plays. I never watched. I didn't understand them, so I was like, put me on defense. Let me just go tackle the guy. I have no idea what the hell's going on.
He's a water boy.
And then so this is what got me into wrestling, actually, because I came from another school, and football players are assholes. So I remember we had a little game scrimmage, and I juked everyone. I ran through. I threw the ball down, thought I was hot shit, and the middle linebacker came and tried to tackle me from behind. And in midair, I grab him and I flip him over me, and I end up on mount on him. And I was gonna punch him in the face and just give him a little tap, And I left. And he's like, dude, come wrestle, bro. Come wrestle. And because football in a team sport, if the whole team doesn't play well, you guys lose. So we're like losing all the time. And then I went out in wrestling. First weekend of wrestling, I win a medal. 2 weeks, I win a medal. And the next day, I just keep winning medals. I'm like, growing up, when you're the poorest person and you're around your community, you're different. Your name is Hyder, like you feel like it's only happening to you. I feel like a freaking loser, And so, but wrestling, I have a medal, shows me I'm a winner, So that's what really attracted me to these one-on-one sports. And then I got into jiu-jitsu right after, won my first tournament in a month. And then
Nick,
yeah, can't say that for me.
That was
nothing but L's.
Zooming on his loser ass face right now, dude.
Me and my bronze medal. Well, if I got lucky.
Well, in jiu-jitsu, you can win like one match or two and get a gold medal. You know, so I beat these two guys that gave me a gold medal. In wrestling, you got to wrestle like 5-8 times.
Wrestling's way harder than
a super jacked, athletic kid, So they gave me the medal, and I just like, I don't want it. They're like, what? I'm like, find me someone else better, and I'll take it if I beat him, So they found me a kid who was 19 years old, 190 pounds, and I was 150 at the time. And who's been doing it for a year and a half. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Oh, I thought you were like, just kidding, man. Let me get the medal back.
No.
Give it back. No, my bad.
Yeah, so I faked the shot, jumped triangle, and tapped him, and tapped him immediately. So then I was like, I'll take that medal. But that's when I knew. I was like, okay, fighting is for me. Because like I started off with kickboxing, I did football and wrestling, and I was good at that. Had my first MMA fight a year later.
Yeah, because you didn't really do amateurs, right? You did like
I did two.
Well, I guess
amateurs.
minus your childhood.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I just feel like for me, I don't like the jiu-jitsu tournaments because
gay.
It was I agree. I mean, I just like to fight.
He looked at Nick. He's like, it's just a little
gay.
You know
what I mean?
Look at these guys crossing his legs.
Yeah. What do you mean jiu-jitsu is a little funny?
Yeah.
Well, explain that.
This is gay.
Explain this.
Yeah.
Brother.
What do you mean this gay?
Yeah, I just like, because of all the street fights and stuff, I just like just pure raw fighting, And so, but I got in trouble at the end of high school, got kicked out of school, went to juvie, and my girlfriend at the time went to UC Berkeley to be a doctor. So she's like, let's go to college, blah blah blah, and so I did that and ended up becoming hella soft.
Education made me soft.
I think you can be a normal person, dude. You became a normal human being.
I had no fights in college. Whack.
No, it was, dude. When I was the end of high school, I was always a pretty good dude. I just had a bad temper, and like it always get me in trouble, and I was like selling drugs and fighting and just being kind of like, everyone always just knows me as crazy, as wild, and I got kind of sick of everyone thinking like they can't invite me nowhere because I was just that one friend.
Beating up people, dude.
Yeah, I was just always wild out, all the time. So I got tired of that, and I started going to school and stuff, and I kind of lost myself, honestly. And then I got up to 210 pounds,
wow.
And my frame of softness, not muscle, just soft, And then what got me back into training was I got fired from my job. I sent all these Craigslist ads out, and El Nino, Gilbert Melendez gym, hired me. Wow. So I just took this as a sign to get back in MMA, and I'm still undefeated now.
Let's go.
Let's see how
is
far
that why
this goes.
you're the Hurricane? Because of El Nino?
No, my buddy. I don't know if you saw my last fight, who I dedicated this fight to. One of my best friends died 7 months ago, and during the I was gonna fight this amateur fight, and the promoter asked, "What's your nickname?" And my friend said, "Hurricane." I'm like, all right, there it is. And that's where it all came from.
Damn.
Damn, man, your upbringing is pretty fucking nuts, dude. Like every time I hear about somebody's like fighting story, they're like, yeah, I found out I was pretty good at fighting. You're like, I just killed 86 people. Maybe I could fight a little bit, dude.
Have you
been back to the Philippines since?
I have not.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I have not. So I really want to, especially now that these last 2 fights really. And I don't know if you guys know this. I think I'm the first Filipino-born UFC fighter ever. I asked them to fact check
Mark
it.
Munoz, OC.
Everyone else has been born in the States. So
crazy.
Cebu, right?
Yeah, so I was from Cebu.
But you sound so Bay, dude.
I know.
You don't sound anything like
I'm such a Bay dude. Like I really try to hide it, but I can't help it. That's why I always come out and dance. If you're Filipino from the Bay, you're gonna be dancing and doing all that
doing
crazy
the smees
stuff,
and shit.
So exactly. So
What's your walkout song, man?
this last one was this one was still feeling it.
Okay.
By Mr. Fab and all that stuff
Dope.
remix. So yeah, the reason is there's no other music that gets me back to the old me. Because the old me was that youngster who was just down to get down or whatever. Adult me, because I'm an adult, I'm a professional, is just a little more clean cut than that. But in order for me to tap into who I need to be and be, no matter how dangerous something is, I'm still smiling, or I still got that swag. I got to listen to Bay music, dance a little bit, and it always puts me in a nice place to be for fighting.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about, so for me, prior to, you being put on my radar, right? Like for me, honestly, it was the Will Gomis fight, right? Like Will Gomis is a beast. He's fucking good.
Yeah.
Right? Especially on the striking, right?
Yeah.
Before you fought him, what was the game plan, right? Because at that time I didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
And so when you were fighting Will Gomis, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking tough.
Yeah.
But you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like for somebody in your part of your career, it's very important now for you to build names off people who think who are better than you.
Yeah.
And then what you did, it kind of showed the opposite. So what was the game plan for fighting Will Gomis?
Well, one, I knew so the way I look at every fight is I neutralize their strengths. I impose my strengths, and I try to take advantage of their weaknesses. He is a really good kicker and likes to move a lot. And maybe he doesn't have the most finishes in the UFC, but sometimes a guy, he's like a Mayweather guy. He's gonna poke at you the whole time. He has a few knockouts before the UFC or whatever, and he's super tall and big for the weight class. And that's what made it hard. And he's also a lot stronger than he looks. I kind of knew that to get this far and not be technically there. Also, see, 2 weeks before the fight, I tore my MCL. Okay, so I had a giant knee brace on my leg.
So crazy.
So initially, I was going to switch stances and all that because it would have been way easier to cut the ring off on him when I'm southpaw. I switched stances, and 70% of my fights, I'm southpaw, and I'm a lot more effective. It's way easier to cut off a guy the same stance than it is open stance, because especially the way he fights, he knows how to turn off that right hook and circle out off the left. He's a very slick fighter. So initially, that was my plan. But because I was injured, I had a torn bicep, torn labrum, torn MCL.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, I was injured the whole camp.
Were you gonna pull out at any point?
No. I told everyone, they're like, Hyder, you should. I was like, that's not going to happen. I'm going to beat this guy regardless, And I'm just one of those guys, I look at every fight like a journey. It's like when the ship has sailed, no matter what happens, you stay the course, Unless something's really, really bad. But other than that, I was like...
Some people might have said that was really bad.
Yeah.
What is bad?
There's like
I
10
had a
things
torn
that are
eye,
bad.
a broken tooth, a broken chin, a busted ass. It's like, Doc, you're broken.
Yeah, I would probably have to have like my arm just hanging off or completely a broken leg for me to not fight,
Wow.
And I've fought fights with a broken foot. I've won fights with a broken rib. Like, I'm mentally a rock here, so.
Damn, I feel like that's probably, when Perillo was talking about the soul of a pussy.
Yep.
That's
not it.
That's
not
Yeah, he
it.
doesn't have the
That's
soul
what
of a
like
pussy.
Jason Perillo's talking about in you, like a fighter who has it here and here. It's like that's that unshakable will that there's like certain fighters who might be great in the gym. You see them put it all together, but when those lights are on, it's like you really see what somebody's about.
Absolutely. I think 90% of people are only good at the gym. I think most people put too much equity what happens in the gym. And if you see my training regimen and some of my condition I train, you're going to realize why I can keep up a pace like that. Plus, I got to work. Plus, I got a gym. And I told Dan, I'm like, yo, pay me. And you 100% guarantee you're going to see the craziest fights. And you haven't seen the best of me yet. Because the moment I get to rest and just do fighting full time, I'm I don't care how stacked the division is. No one can put the pace I can put on them, and no one tougher than me.
Let's go. Let's go.
I fucking love it. Oh, shit.
Oh.
And this is the
I'm gonna
fight.
jog another half mile today.
Another half mile.
There's an extra half.
It's gonna be a full mile.
He did 2, by the way. 2 full
Soul of a
ones.
pussy.
This is the fight that I feel like a lot of people on the internet.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
recognize you
Korea,
from.
why you do this to Korea?
When Philippines
number one.
destroyed Korea, David.
half the Philippines destroyed Korea.
So wait, you know what I first saw? This like
Yeah, this is crazy.
that Korean guy is, oh God, no, please stop.
He's like, please, no more. Okay, one
You
more.
know,
Okay, one more.
someone posted this was the battle of the heads because me and him have really big heads, and mine is a square. So someone put an alien head for him and a robot head for me. I'm like, that is about because he has a big old head.
He does. It's a tall one,
Every
too.
Korean person has a head that's too big for their body. My head, if I was 7 feet tall, would make sense. His head is huge, dude.
But your
Dude,
head,
that
dude.
guy was. Look at how he's built. That was probably he was
huge, yeah.
incredibly
He's tall, dude.
athletic, and had a very great physique.
Look at those cheekbones.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
Look,
he was a
The
super
Koreans got
Korean man.
cheekbones.
of course, he looks gooky as fuck.
And
Look at his
and
face.
so what the reason is like a lot of my fights because a lot of people say like, oh, he doesn't have punching power. You see my other fights, I've dropped people one hand who are bigger than me. Like,
Yeah.
The reason is I just threw a flurry. I threw a combo and I went a little too wide trying to knock him out, and he countered me. So I realized, okay, don't open so wide because you're gonna get countered. He's a really good counter fighter. Punch with your elbows up, throw your hooks with your elbows up, and keep it between his shoulders so he doesn't have a chance to counter you.
So that was by design. So I was like, well, he's doing a lot of haymakers.
Yes,
That was just
over
to
the
counter.
block the.
So what I did was don't throw all your power, just keep it coming. You know, and honestly, I didn't know I threw that many punches. I thought I threw 10 punches because I wasn't even breathless after, and that's
His
why
eyes
I
aren't
just
even that chinky
if
normally.
I miss, because if you throw power and you miss, you're off balance.
Okay.
And if you're off balance, you get countered by a guy who has like 10-second knockouts. You know,
He's good, yeah.
He's 11-1. He's a knockout machine.
And you were
know?
a big dog on this one, right?
Yeah, I was a more than 2-1 underdog these last 2 fights, which I told everyone in the band, I'm like, yo, put some money on your boy. I'm gonna fuck this fool up. I didn't know I was gonna do that though. You know? So everyone after in the whole Bay Area was like, yo, you want the whole hood money, huh? You know, so it was pretty cool.
That's dope.
You know,
Yeah.
when you,
2-1.
do you like when I see people who fight people who are a little bit more precise, right? I feel like sometimes they have trouble dealing with forward pressure, right? Because everything has to be placed perfectly.
Yeah.
This step back is to this counter. This move here, I'm gonna throw this hook over here. But when somebody rushes forward like you, who kind of have like, I want to say reckless abandonment, but it's like you have to learn how to set that up. I'm coming at you.
Yeah.
So let's see you do it if there's fist flying in your face.
The one thing I do better than a lot of these guys is I don't completely fall in. I'm pretty well balanced, and I keep my hands up a little bit. You know, Gilbert Melendez and Nate Diaz are like my, my mentors.
Yeah.
You know, I learned from them. Look what they do. They come forward. We know how to box, and we know how to stay in your face like that. The reason I couldn't move, I had to use stock because my MCL was torn.
Yeah.
So that's why I kept falling to my punches. But if you looked at the Long Jong, the Korean Tiger guy, I was way more bouncy, you know?
Yeah.
And I could switch lefty and righty, lefty and righty. And in the beginning of my career, I did a lot of dancing because I only cut 5 pounds of weight. I barely cut weight, you know? So I would dance around a lot and poke guys out and do a lot of kicks. But then I gained some weight and kind of started dropping people and stuff like that. And so that's how they kind of...
So that weight really does make a fat difference. Even if it's like 5 or 10 pounds, it's like you're even like the path to victory changes.
Yeah. Because, I put 10 pounds of muscle on, and now it's very hard for people to hold me down, wrestle me. And a big part of wrestling, this is why, like, if you're a really good wrestler, you have to be the bigger guy in your weight class. I don't believe a good wrestler can go up a weight very much. In order to go up a weight, you got to have power, So because I wrestle guys who are high level in the gym who are lighter than me. If you can't hold me down, you're gonna get exhausted. And wrestling's exhausting, And a big part of wrestling is strength, And if you're bigger like that, I know I wrestle with D1 wrestlers all the time, And a lot of them can't take me down, Or the guys who can't take me, they can't hold me down, And if we're just saying, and now if you're lighter than me, that's going to be very hard. You have to be the bigger guy. That's why Khabib cuts a lot. That's why Islam cuts a lot. Name a wrestler who's light for their weight class.
DC. Just kidding.
Maybe a heavyweight or whatever. Maybe a heavyweight. That's it. That's a good one. Maybe a heavyweight.
But they can't wrestle.
I
They
saw
can't
David's
wrestle,
brain.
dude.
Yeah. But other than that, like, because there's a certain level, you know, when you're around 230, 240, there's a certain like cardio aspect about MMA you need to have. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I fought, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, I have the record and contender for the most takedown defenses. 'Cause I fought the guy.
Fought a wrestler?
I fought, yeah. You know, I'm like, I bet you I'm gonna fight one of those like Muslim wrestler dudes, you know, because I don't know if you guys seen that memes like, oh, your opponent pulled out. Here's your new guy. He has a chin strap. Ends with a V or a Z. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I got one of those guys. You know, I found out he was in the Greco World Team or whatever.
Oh,
Contender fight?
Yeah,
Jesus.
and like I'm telling you, I always have something going through a fight. That's because I don't know. I ate sushi the night before that fight. I got food poisoning.
oh my God.
And so I
No
fought that
sushi on
fight.
fight night.
I don't know what I was thinking. And good lesson. I'm glad I won that fight. I learned it, but I was nervous because even if you win in contender, a lot of times Dana won't accept you. And because it's a grappling fest, I thought I was going to get accepted. But Dana was like, hey, man, I love that fight. You know, it was the craziest, chaotic scrambling I've ever seen. And it was cool to set a record right there. So that was
That's dope.
Dude, how was
Against
that?
a Russian.
Meeting Dana White after all these years.
You know what? You know what? He gave everyone like 5 seconds with me. He gave me a lot of time to talk to me and stuff. I was really honored, and he was everything I expected. He's Uncle Dana, dude. He's like the homie.
man.
He's like, "What's up, Unc?" You know.
Well, you have an amazing fight style
Yeah,
that he's
so-
like,
That's his
I could
style.
do something with this
yeah,
kid.
exactly. So I hope so. You know,
Yeah.
and I told Dana after my last fight, "Yo, take care of your boy. You're gonna get a great fight every fight, 1,000% guaranteed." You know, so
Let me ask you something. Like, I know, like, this is something that I'm just curious on the back end. The roster of the UFC is so fucking deep, right? There are fighters who are just sitting out. They're not getting fights. What can they do to get fights then? Or is it just up to like social media? Is it up to Hunter? Like, how do you get these fights going?
they're gonna have to take a short notice fight.
Oh.
Yeah, I said yes to a bunch of them, but no one wanted to fight me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was just the trade-off was like, this kid's so dangerous, but he's ranked below me.
Yeah,
You know? And I said yes to these guys, and I don't know what I didn't say yes back, as last year I would have had 3 or 4 fights if someone said yes, because I wanted to. And so I'm hoping now they can just line something up. You know, I want someone in the top 15. You know, I was going to call out Bryce Mitchell after my last fight, but John Silva took it. So
So then call out the winner of Bryce Mitchell,
yeah,
John Silva.
I want some. Well, they're just gonna fight, so I doubt they're gonna fight again this summer.
true,
So I
yeah,
want
yeah.
someone this summer, and then maybe, you know, it'd be a crazy fight that someone wrote John Silva and Hyder. Me and him
That's
would be a
That'd be an
nuts.
amazing
You
fight.
know, I'd be like, that'd be a good fight for title contention. You know, he's great. He's great. He's a great fighter. You know, he's a dog, but
I mean, this is
I fought the
Top
harder
15.
guys. I don't care what anyone says. My last 10 fights, I have 4 UFC, 3 Bellator, 3 LFA. If you look at all of their fights, they look at their records. They didn't just start fighting hard guys until 4 fights ago.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I fought against all these guys, and I beat William Gomis and lost in 8 years. I beat the Korean Tiger, who's 11-1. So Conor McGregor could not come up to featherweight now. Look, he beat a bunch of and the young Max Holloway. Look at the 2 guys I beat. They're heckin' big and athletic, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. So when people
has
say
passed.
this and they had all these guys ranked or, like, favored to beat me, I'm like, they ain't beat no one. I beat the harder guys. I beat nothing but lions this whole time.
It'll be a
you know?
fun matchup for you that I'm looking at right now, who I don't think has a fight scheduled, is Zalal.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be a
Zelal.
fun fight. Because he has that outside movement, kind of like Gomez.
You got a
but-
face that you just want to punch, bro. I'm like, bro.
You watched
But
last
your
fight?
fight, your
Bro,
fight
I
style
saw-
would match up great with him.
I saw him versus Calvin Kattar. I just
Yeah.
did a little story on my Instagram, like, who you guys want me to fight next? And everyone said Calvin Kattar.
That's a
But then
fun
I
one,
saw
too.
that, you know, if he fought me the way he fought Zalal, I'm gonna knock Calvin Kattar out. I like Calvin Kattar, but he's not looking that good. And Youssef Zalal, they're just, dude, I'm gonna bust his ass up. I don't care what he's like. You hear me, Zalal? I don't care. We can go
Hey,
square
I'll
up
be
this
honest,
summer.
Zalal might get cut before you actually see him. That shit was boring.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like,
I'm sorry. It
But
was
everybody
like,
felt that way,
everybody
though.
felt that
Everybody
way.
felt
if
some
he
type of way about
thinks
that fight.
I've beat the guy who's the master pokey from the outside fighter, and he's forced to fight me because you know that if you were gonna rely on trying to poke at me and I get my momentum going, it's only a matter of time until your ass gets knocked out, you know? And he looks fragile, you know? And me,
dude. This is fire. Because that's a fire match.
Dude, I wear double XL gloves, bro. The only time I'm gonna fucking put it on you. And he looks like you know what? I'm just ready to fight any one of those guys.
You're about to make fun of him. You stop.
Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy over here.
Okay, Zalal, you pussy!
I want someone in the top 15. You know, Zalal. Oh, who's that? Kattar, Zalal.
I mean, we love Dan Ige.
Ige's matched up.
You know, the only reason I don't want to fight Dan Ige is because one of my coach, Jake Shields, coaches at Extreme Couture. I got some buddies over there. Yeah. That's the only person up there I prefer not to fight. And I wanted to fight Brian Ortega because I want to do LA versus Bay Area.
That's a good one.
You know,
that's a great fight.
Because then what got me into UFC, the contender was in the LFA. Chase Gibson represented LA and I represented Bay Area, and we were on this hot streak. So it was like, who is king of California? So
that was a great fight.
Bay versus LA, yeah. And what people didn't know about that fight is when he took me down, some weird thing like my rib broke, like in a freak accident, you know? And so that's why he had my back. And I don't know if you guys ever felt having a broken rib with a body triangle around your back, but
it's the worst.
It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, body triangle alone is like, tap.
Yeah, exactly. So
when my wife hugs me too hard at night, I'm like, shit.
And she a 2-stripe white belt.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, so this fight right here, and my rib broke when he took me down, and but dude, he's huge.
Yeah,
he's
a big dude.
He's a big dude.
But honestly, dude, your head is pretty massive. Yeah. Holy shit.
You got a big head too, my man.
We know.
You got a big
Hey, dude, we're Filipino, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, so this fight was like,
this is in LA or Bay Area?
Yeah, this is in LA, but I brought an army down. You know, I brought like 200 people down.
Look at that pace, that pressure.
And yeah, so we had a really good fight, and you know, I just come bring it the whole time, you know, and I knew I don't care how big you are, you're not gonna outpower me or you're not gonna.
Oh my God! Oh my! All right, you and Youssef Zelal, please immediately.
I think that's a great fight.
I think that's an amazing fight. I think he's gonna get cut anyways, so I think that you'll send him off with the goodbye package. Listen, Youssef, if you're listening to this, I make jokes. Okay, I make jokes. So kill me.
Yeah, we're friends with Hyder, dude. Don't mess with us.
Yeah, you cured my insomnia, though. Thank you.
We're the guys talking shit.
Yeah, we talk shit because I want people to get fights. That's all that it is. I think some fighters don't know that, so I'm sorry. But seriously, you run too much.
No, exactly, and I'm a master at cutting off the ring, and actually also the ring not getting cut off on me. I can do both sides really well. I'm probably when I fight a shorter person, I'm probably a better counter fighter than I am a pressure person. That's what people haven't seen yet. And that's why I want to fight like Ilya Topuria because he likes to box. And bro, I spar national champions, undefeated pro boxers, world champion Muay Thai guys. I wrestle with D1 wrestlers and black belts and world champions. I'm good wherever it goes, bro. I'm not afraid of none of that, you know? So, and I already beat a black belt world champion. I already beat a Muay Thai champion and a wrestling champion. So at this point, it's hard not to be insanely confident when you haven't lost.
Well, I feel too that
rib.
Yeah, so my rib was broken when he took me down. And so everyone's like, twist out. I'm like, I can't. My rib hurts, you know? And that's my rib sticking out right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I see it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
disgusting.
so that right
Stop
part.
the fight.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
And he got me in a choke, and it's just like a life lesson. I was about to, like, Hyder, do you go to sleep or do you tap? I'm like, man, I'm going to sleep trying, you know? And that was a lesson, like, just before you're about to quit, around the corner might be your biggest victory, you know? And I went down to the corner, and I asked Gil, I'm like, dude, my rib is gone. My rib is out. He's like, Hyder, what do you want to do? I'm like, you want to, like, you got this, bro. You got this. I'm like, let's do this, bro. Let's fucking do this. You know, he's like, he gave me some instructions, and I'm not going to lie. Right before that, I was like, see if the gods are on your side. Knock his ass out right here, right now, and you'll see what happens in a second. But, just so crazy. What's crazy about that is a week before the fight, I had a crazy dream, and it was I was driving from my house in Santa Fe, and I drove to the East Coast. And meanwhile, I kept picking people up, putting them in my car, and having a great time. And when I got to my destination, it restarted. you know? And I kept doing the same thing, or all these random people, different races, paraplegic. Like, I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I realized I always had a reoccurring dream growing up where no matter what I did when I drove, I always crashed. But this time I made it to my destination, you know? And I realized where I went. I went to Providence, Rhode Island. That's why I got this tattoo. It says Providence. And Providence means a path by God. And so when I asked the God, during this fight, you know, it's a lot of pressure. You get into the UFC, your rib is broken, whatever. I asked him, see if he's in your side right now, knock his ass out right here, right now. And so when it was answered, it was like, after that dream, I was like, there's something, I was like, I'm on my path. This is destined, you know?
Wow.
And so that's how I feel. And after everything I've been through in life, and I never chose to be back in MMA, dude. I feel like it chose me to be back in MMA.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving it everything I got. You know, I honestly feel no pressure on myself. I'm a little older than some of these guys, but I feel like I'm 22, so I'm ready to go. And so when I asked, this is what happened.
We.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Oh my God.
Oh, Providence.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You do got double XL gloves, dude. Your fucking gloves are huge. Got like Mickey Mouse hands, dog. Oh, fuck, those are like Jose Aldo hands.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's insane.
I miss fighting in arena, man. Like, because all three of those all my fights in LFA and all my fights, dude, the roof is blown off. Like, everyone's
really?
going absolutely
are you only
bonkers.
Apex? You've only been to Apex.
I've only been in the Apex.
Damn.
And then I'm like, Dana, like, if I did a 38 combo in an arena, everyone would be going absolutely bonkers. And I feel like I'd be a superstar right now if that happened. And the William Gomis fight, like, that was a great fight too. So, and you know what? I come into the fight. I can't wait to fight again. Let's put it that way. You know, I came in with injuries. It did go 3 rounds. I felt like I got a lot of experience because of that. So now I feel way more I feel confident winning a fight, but I feel twice as confident now because I want to fight this injured against a very tough guy. And William Gomis beat Joanderson Brito, who beat Diego Lopes, who's fighting for the belt this weekend.
Yeah.
So I know I'm right up there, you know. And I come in healthy. You pay your boy more, so I don't got to do anything else but focus on fighting. I 1,000% guarantee you guys, you will see your first Filipino champ.
Oh, shit. Oh, my foreskin just got all excited.
145 is ready for the tape.
Damn, that's
145.
I mean, I feel like as a fighter too, like it always feels good, especially because, you know, we're a fan of the sport. It's like hearing a fighter see like this predestined spot to be in. I feel like you need that, right? If a fighter sits here and goes, I don't know. It's like, well, if you don't know, how the fuck do we know?
We know, yeah.
Right.
If you say like, look, you put me in front of anybody, I'm knocking all your asses out, right?
That's different level.
That's some different level shit.
That's some
and I feel
different
like if you
level.
don't have that mentality in this sport, it's like, damn, it's going to be a tough ride for you.
Yeah, it's a
you know
long
what I'm saying?
ride.
I've already made it this far in life already, you know, from how I started and just by the grace of God or whatever. And I've already beaten the odds in so many other ways, and I've already fought so many guys in the street that should have whooped my ass in different weight classes with 3 guys that even before I trained, that I'm like, I don't care what the odds are, what anyone thinks, I'm going to win. That's just how I always feel. And it's very hard. I've never lost a street fight. I have this one loss at amateurs that I actually didn't lose, and I had mono. That's the only reason why I didn't perform that well, but in my eyes, in MMA and fighting and whatever, I have never lost. So it's for me. I don't think I can be beat.
Wow.
Damn, man. Got that Elia, Conor McGregor energy.
I need a little bit of some of this, dude.
It's going to rub off on you just by us being next to him.
Sometimes when I'm tired at night, I choose not to masturbate, but tonight,
That's a win. That's a win.
I'm jacking off.
He's honestly,
Power through, baby.
it's honestly the same thing that he is.
Yeah, go, wake up! You heard what Hater said!
We're not quitting today.
I'm showing up. Awake tonight. All right.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right, guys?
That's Gilbert's sister right there.
Let's get into some fighter news just a little bit. This is interesting. I know. How do you feel about fighters that like still party and have fun? You know, Carlos Prates smokes and does like 30-minute rounds.
Dude, I just saw this lady die at 122 years old today, and she was smoking cigarettes and drinks wine and eats chocolate. And I want to be honest, like, I used to party a lot and train a lot, you know, and I actually don't think it's that big of a deal. Sakuraba smokes cigarettes every day. Yeah,
Hey, Sakuraba.
as long as dude, I think also like because for a long time, you know, I used to smoke weed and smoke. I'm from the Bay Area, and I grew up in Vallejo. I can't not smoke blunts and do all that.
I can help myself.
When I was training, like people would be amazed by like this is coming up. This not anymore, of course. I just got too many things going on and stuff like that. But when I was coming up, especially when I was younger, I would smoke and go spar 14 people, you know?
Damn.
Like
It was only one person technically.
yeah. So it would be a line of people. I did the whole line twice. You know? I was spar everyone, you know? And so I think you actually have very low if you exercise a lot. Like if you smoke weed or smoke, you actually have very low content in your body if you sweat a lot. You know, if you eat it might be in your fat. If you don't exercise, it will affect you more. But if you exercise a lot and do that, or if your body's used to it, sometimes, especially with cigarettes, some people it's worse when they stop. It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
But and it's just like a diet. Some like a homeless person, they try to help this homeless guy out. He's been eating garbage out of the garbage just for a long time, right? They give him healthy food, he starts getting sick. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree 100%. 1000%.
dog.
Yeah, exactly. So
The day I ate
I
a
know there's
fucking
some
vegetable, I
truth to
almost
that.
died. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not
So
even
I don't know
lying.
how true that is or whatever, but I think you know that pertains to Carlos Prates.
It don't have to
He
be
winning,
true, dude.
so.
I'm saying it, so it's true. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because I remember I met him because we fought on the same card, and I saw him, and right after Wayne's he's eating Nutella. I'm like,
Just with
with a finger, bro. I'm like, bro, like use a damn stick. That's why that's in there. You know? Like,
That's what they're for.
Yo, you're so fucking Filipino slubs is that you're judging him for eating with his fingers, but you're like, use a stick instead. And then the person behind
stick right there, you
Why
know?
are you using a stick? Use a spoon.
exactly.
That's tight.
No, I like that dude, man.
He's
Afterwards, he was like, he gave me respect after my fight, and I see why, because that fight we fight very similar, like southpaw and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, those fighting nerds they got a great team, and there's some real gangsters out there, so that's cool.
Early prediction
Yes.
for Machado.
Ooh,
For Machado and Prates.
Man, that's a hard fight, bro. I mean, Carlos Prates has a lot of momentum right now, and he just fought. So did Ian Gary. Let me see. If I had to pick someone, I'll go with Carlos Prates right now. He just has momentum. He's on a hot streak. He has a full camp behind him. You know, and Ian Machado is taking a short notice, and you know, he's a cuck.
I was not expecting that.
Dude, that's so on his stats. It just says cut. Like, fuck.
Fighting style. Hey, I'm a fan, Ian. I don't know what these guys are saying, man. Don't fight me,
It's
dude.
cool, man.
Cooking is cool.
It's chill, dog.
I think Ian's gonna have trouble. Ian has so far trouble with fighting people who are at a higher level, and it seems that he's a lot more apprehensive and he can't do what he wants to do that he does in his earlier fights, right?
Yeah.
And he's also fighting somebody too who is also just as rangy as him.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with other people who are his height. He's like, the range is different now.
Yeah, it's harder.
And I think Prates also hits way harder than
He's
him.
a finisher, bro. He's a real finisher.
Machado, he just can find a way to win. I will say that about him.
He's
got
game.
this
He knows his
far,
moments.
And some people may not be the most powerful, the most physical attributes, but they do everything right, and they got a good mind, strategic mind, and that's what gets them to winning. Because the difference a lot of times between, for example, me 11-0, difference between 11-0 and maybe 5-6 or 6-5 is this, you know, and just this decision making. You know, I don't know how many guys. I train with guys with great records. And I train with guys with bad records. Sometimes the guys with bad records are better than these guys in the gym, which blows my mind. You know, I don't understand how that works. I mean, I know, like we said, like, you know, when the lights are on, you know, it's a different level.
Yeah.
So that's
Interesting.
yeah.
Dude, I want to ask about the scrap pack. I mean, you're like new generation, right?
Yeah.
Is there another like scrap pack 2.0 at the gym, or?
Yeah, there are a lot of amateurs now. They're coming up and stuff like that. And so yeah, there's some guys that are coming up. And they're just early in their career and stuff, so they're coming up. They're coming up, but definitely there is.
You're the one.
Yeah.
You're Neo.
I'm the only one.
Leading the pack, baby.
What about this? This is your weight division right here, Volkanovski Lopes.
UFC 314, guys. Let's
nuts.
make some picks. Use our promo code, the Casuals, with MyBookie. Let's get into it. Volkanovski versus Lopes. Mr. 145, what do you think?
I think Diego Lopes, again, he's on a hot streak, and I think Volk is towards the end of his career. He's not, he's doing the cooking for Volk. I don't think he has that fire like Diego Lopes has, and Diego Lopes is pretty damn big, and Volk, he's super strong and super athletic. He's good at fighting damn near anyone. However, when he fought Islam, and then got knocked out 5 months later by Ilya, that's gonna do something to your brain. I'm sorry, but he's later in his career, his brain, I could be wrong again, but those 2 back-to-back KOs, he should have gave himself more time.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna catch up with him now, especially after a whole career of MMA and rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think
Damn.
Volk might get KO'd again or submitted.
Oh, I hate that.
Or submitted. I love the guy, whatever, but that's just how it is,
Damn.
Changing the guard for real. huh?
Yeah, that's just,
Yeah.
I called that with Ilya too. I'm like, because I had a fight, and he got into camp the same time. I had a fight. We fought around the same time, I'm like, he got knocked out a month ago. That means he's in training again. That means he started sparring or whatever. He's not allowing his brain to heal. After doing rugby and all these fights, he's been dropped before. Every time you get a concussion, you need that much more time to not
Do
anything,
yeah.
And even if you get your heart rate over 100, even though you're not getting hit, that's still impacting your brain. So that's when I put that together. I was like, and then I see he's circling out to his right to his right hand. I'm like, he's getting knocked out by overhand. I said it right in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he gets knocked out. He's fighting apprehensive. Mentally, his screws aren't all fully there, And it takes a fighter to know that, and I can see how he move it and his tactics and his guard. And I was like, dude, you're doing all the wrong things, Ilya Tapur is a power puncher. You don't circle towards that right hand or left foot. He's gonna try to corral you into that right hand, and he was also not fighting confidently.
Oh, interesting.
I think that was a really good analysis.
Yeah.
Next thing be like, but Volk's still gonna win.
Rewatch that fight.
But he's making old man Volk videos, so he's gonna do okay.
He's not distracted at all.
Yeah.
What do you guys got? Who do you guys got?
Man, I didn't think Diego was gonna be the underdog.
Diego's
That's
I just saw
crazy.
that. Whoa.
I think that's a very live dog. I think that's the best underdog on the card.
Are you gonna make a book with my bookie?
I'm gonna put a bet on Diego Lopes. If he's the underdog, I'm gonna put a bet on him because I do feel like it's like everything you guys just said.
Wow.
It's the age, the
I didn't
size.
see that. Wow.
Damn.
It's his time, dude.
That's a good bet for people, dude, to go to
a good
Diego
one.
Lopes.
I wonder how the odds have changed because they might have changed for sure.
David, OG bias? Or are you gonna try to get some?
This is kind of hard, right?
Yeah.
Just because I'm OG biased based on a lot of things, but just like you said, Volkanovski has gotten cracked, right?
Yeah.
Also, too, he's 38, 39 this year.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And, you don't see a lot of people become champion again, or if at all, at that age, at this weight class, right?
Yeah.
That's like a heavyweight thing. And Diego Lopes, too, isn't a slouch. Like, he is there. I go Diego Lopes. I hate to do it, but it's like, if I'm thinking logically, I'd probably go Diego Lopes. And I would, if you're a bettor,
That's a
I
good
would
bet.
probably bet. That's a pretty good bet.
I think we're all gonna go Lopez on this one.
Oh, man.
I love you,
That's
Volk,
crazy.
but
Appreciate you, Volk, man. Your food videos all look the same.
you keep
They do? I'm like, steak again? How many ways can you make a steak by Volkanovski?
If I was a fighter, this is my guy right now. I'm from Sacramento.
No, he's from Australia. We got emu steak. We got kangaroo steak.
I'm like, cook something else.
Today we're gonna cook another steak. Just kidding, Volk. Just please don't kill me.
All right, we got Patty the Baddie versus Michael, not the cheater, Chandler, as he said recently on a.
He doesn't cheat, man. Watch the tape.
He's been feeling down on himself because
He
everyone
has
keeps calling
done
him
every
cheater.
illegal move in MMA.
What were they accusing him of?
Because if you watch any Michael Chandler fight, there's always like 5 or 10 moments, 5 to 10, where he's grabbing the cage,
Gloves,
fish
hooking the mouth.
yeah,
Oh, really?
like
Yeah.
crazy stuff. So Dustin Poirier had a story about how Michael Chandler was fish hooking him
Even
to
Bisping
pull his
did
head
a
up
video.
to choke him out.
Oh wow.
Michael
And
Chandler
he bit his finger. That's what he was saying.
Oh really?
yeah. He bit his finger through the mouth guard.
Yeah, Poirier
Shit
bit his
happens
finger.
sometimes, but I think I think Michael Chandler takes this one.
What?
Yeah, I hope he does anyway. Patty,
You're not a Patty guy?
Yeah, I don't. I'll come and fight Patty. I'll go up a weight class and beat his ass. I just think he's just sloppy, bro. And I just think he just seems like just not a real one to me, you know. And here in the Bay Area, like the number one thing, if you be known for is being a real one, you know. And so for me, I don't fuck with anyone who's not a real one, you know. And I don't like people like that, you know. So,
I like this, but I don't know what that means.
You're not a real one,
dog.
I don't know.
You wouldn't know.
Speak like Jesus in parables, man. Not a real one. You're not a real one.
yeah, I forgot what he did, but he was just doing some like
The shit with Ilya, maybe?
I forgot what it was. He was just saying something after the last fight, or he just, man, I just don't like how he conducts himself, and he'd be running his mouth too much, and you don't want to take these fights. Oh, you got to pay me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, take that damn fight. Don't be a bitch, you know? And so I think they market him a lot. I think he's fun. I just think it's only a matter of time until he runs into someone good. They're both similar in that they're a little bit like Michael Chandler's a little bit of a meathead, you know? He just relies a lot on his physicality.
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough finesse, and he comes at you just like explosive, blah, 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 and wrestles and stuff like that. So he does have Michael Chandler's one of those guys, he can beat anyone in the world. He could also get knocked out, you know? And that's just how I feel. I mean, he got knocked out by Patricio Pitbull, you know?
Yeah.
In 10 seconds. That guy's...
I think that's like the frustrating thing about Michael Chandler. He has all the physical attributes that you want out of a fighter, but he just has one mode.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like you got one mode, people are going to figure that shit out. Once they weather the storm, they go, oh, I got your timing.
He's like Josh Emmett in that they got the physicality, but they don't got the finesse in their boxing, you know? Or just simply, if you're going to be aggressive, just put your hands up, you know? And that's what a lot of these MMA fighters don't do, is they just don't do this. When you pressure someone, you're coming forward, right? So just put your hands up a little bit, you know. And even if you don't have to do even much defense, they're just gonna hit you in the arms. Michael Chandler is just hands down, explode in, explode, reset, explode, reset, explode, reset, explode. That's gonna get you tired. That's gonna get you running into shots, you know. And so Paddy Pimblett does something similar, you know. And I think it's gonna be a fun fight, but
You think
I don't know who exactly is gonna win. I think it's kind of even. I just want Michael Chandler to win. I'm choosing Michael Chandler.
What do you guys think?
I think Michael Chandler's going to do something stupid and he's going to lose.
He gets to the triangle.
That's a high. Yeah, exactly.
Because you know, Michael Chandler has these odd moments where because he's so explosive, when he connects, he hits hard, right?
Yeah.
But then Paddy Pimblett, too, I've seen him get hit with like bricks, but I don't know if it's because he also has a gigantic fucking head.
It's the wig.
And he's also just...
It's the wig.
It just cushions everything or something.
It just shakes.
Because he fought that one dude early on. I think his name was like Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
And that boy cracked him.
Yeah.
And he somehow just survived it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like Michael Chandler's going to fall into his guard somehow, and he might just choke him out and just submit him, because Michael Chandler has lately made a lot of big mistakes.
Yeah.
So maybe it might go to Paddy, but we'll see. Who knows?
If Michael Chandler is smart, he would hit Paddy Pimblett in the body hard. You know, a lot of
Just
the
sock him
guys
out.
who are good here and they cut a lot of weight, they're weak to the body. Like people would cut a lot of weight, are very like ripped, or actually with a smaller torso, or they're really ripped and they cut a lot of weight, are easier to hurt to the body. Just saying.
There's a free tip, Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler's going to listen
You
to this.
better listen, dog.
I was
said
going to grab
this
the
to Mike.
cage, but fine.
That's just what I know. I sparred a lot of people and stuff like that, and everyone I fought or sparred who they cut a lot of weight, they're big for the weight class. You know, again, you cut a lot of weight, your kidneys get kind of drained, you know?
Yeah.
Or your body's like, you're very thin layer, you know? People who have the best, like you can't hurt their body, have a very thick torso, you know? Just from a lot of people I boxed and sparred. Like all the guys who got a little bit of even fat right there, and they got some, you know, muscle. Those are the guys you cannot hurt to the body, honestly. You know?
Easy.
Yeah, you can't hurt those guys to the body. But the guys who are lean and long and very cut, those are the guys you can hurt to the body. So,
Free tip, dude.
I'm going to go Pimblett.
tip.
What do you think?
Yeah,
Potty?
Patricio Pitbull's fighting Yair Rodriguez.
Yair, what a fucking fight.
And for the casuals out there, if you don't know Patricio Pitbull, you don't know MMA.
that little fucker's a savage.
He's a
Scary,
monster.
dude.
Bro, I feel like
5'5".
Yeah.
Fought 135, 45, and 55.
Crazy.
What an animal, bro.
He doesn't give a fuck.
I think he might beat Yair, yo. I think he might beat Yair.
Oh, you think Bellator wins?
I think second, third round is gonna go to Pitbull.
Dude, Pitbull without a beard is interesting. I've never seen that.
He looks hella young.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you guys got for this one? You going to Pitbull?
I'm going Pitbull.
I love Yair. Just give me a Taekwondo guy. I
love Yair too. But I just feel like
Who's Pitbull lose to? He's lost to AJ McKee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He lost to Chandler.
Right? And then he beat
him.
McKee after.
Yeah, and then he beat AJ after.
Yeah, okay.
So I think he's still got it. He's still tough, but I feel like he could wrestle a little bit with Yair maybe.
If Yair can keep those kicks coming the entire time, it's 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
So he should be able to maintain that. But it's going to be hard with that little dude on you.
I'm
you
gonna
got, Gil?
go Yair.
Yair?
Only because with like Patricio in his later years of his fight, his forward pressure isn't as vicious as it was. Because Yair circles and he moves out so much, unless Pitbull does what you do, guard up, goes in and
Cuts off the ring,
he's going to have a hard time with Yair.
Yeah.
And Yair, too, it has no problem fighting off of his back. He actually prefers it.
Yeah.
So I might go Yair.
Whose record is this?
This is Pitbull. I didn't know he lost to Sergio Pettis. That's crazy.
Wait, he went to Risen and got KO'd?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He was
Who's this Suzuki guy? Where the hell?
He was. I think Pitbull was the only one when they did the combo fight.
Oh, he's the one that lost?
He's the only one that lost. Yeah.
What the heck? He lost to Sergio Pettis too?
Yeah.
Sergio Pettis is...
Oh man, after seeing this, I was like, he got KO'd? What?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change my pick to Yair.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude.
I had no idea.
And Sergio had a rough time in the UFC.
It's really rough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I guess we're all going to Yair now.
Yeah,
Yair.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
bro.
All right, we have one of
This
your next
one.
matchups that you're going to be fighting. One of these guys probably.
This one's gonna be interesting.
Bryce Mitchell, John Silva is not ranked?
Do you think Bryce Mitchell should be
No.
that big of an underdog going into this
Yeah.
fight?
Or you think it's too much
He
heat?
got slept by Emmett, and stuff like that. John Silva's on the rise, but,
But he,
you know
but
what?
he beat up. He knocked out Crone.
Yeah,
Cron Gracie.
Crone. I train with Crone and all
Yeah.
that, and stuff like that, and
Oh, that's right. He's scrap pack
so,
guy.
yeah, he's a scrap pack guy, and Crone's out here jumping guard, dude. You know,
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
wha- So that's he. Anyway,
He looks so frustrated.
that was frustrating for me, man. I'm
Yeah.
like, why? Like I want to say more. I don't want to say more. But like, yeah. So it was just it hurt my soul to see that. But that's also why I wanted to call him out.
Yeah,
'Cause
you want that back.
I want that win back for our team.
Yeah.
You know what fight I also want? Just since we're on the record of payback is Arnold Allen. 'Cause he beat my coach Gilbert Melendez.
Oh, that's right.
And that's why I want that fight. And
That's a
I
good
just want
fight, too.
'cause,
Is he a 45?
You want
Yeah,
to get that
number
win
7.
back for my coach, and I told my coach I would do that for him. So
Arnold
That'd be a
Allen's
great
fucking
fight.
gigantic 145er,
Yeah,
dude.
He's not booked either.
he's yoked.
Maybe just go for it.
Just go right to Arnold Allen.
Man, that's a fun fight too.
Dude,
That'd be a
fast track
great
top
fight.
10.
That's a fucking
that'd be
fun
great
fight,
to
too.
do, you know? But John Silva's definitely winning this fight.
Jean Silva. In what way? How do you think he's gonna go?
He's gonna knock his ass out.
Yeah, he's gonna pull out a globe afterwards.
Yeah.
A globe.
You guys going John Silva? We all love the fighting nerd guy.
I think Bryce is hot right now. I'm gonna go with Bryce.
yeah, his takes are really good.
Yeah, he's got the best. He got the
I
best
don't know which one
podcast
I'm
in the
going to
game.
choose, but if I look at this, I'm thinking I'm going to go John Silva.
That
Dude.
guy's so nervous. He's like, why is this Korean?
John
Hey, where you going, man?
Silva.
Come on, man.
My heart goes out to you. I'm choosing John Silva.
Yeah, I'm going to John Silva. Nick, you
Yeah.
can stick with Bryce.
Nah, I'm going John.
Nah, it's too late.
Fighting
You
nerds.
said-
Fighting nerds.
Hey, man, mix it up. You're going Bryce Mitchell.
Nah, dude.
This is not because I hate Bryce Mitchell or anything else like that. I think just stylistically, John Silva has it for Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Mitchell's gonna take us back at least once.
I was
I don't
gonna
know
say
if he's
that.
gonna finish him, but I
What's
think he's
Silva's,
gonna take
what's
it
Silva's
once.
ground game? Have we seen it?
He's got decent grappling, but
I don't
he
think he's
got
ever fought a grappler, has he?
he got taken down by Charles Jourdain a good amount.
Oh,
But that,
did he?
That was last minute though.
Charles Jourdain can't wrestle for shit, bro.
he got
I'm
taken down he got taken down twice, I think. Twice,
really?
Yeah,
What?
3 times. Yeah.
All right, I'm going Bryce Mitchell.
But
Then
that was
Twister.
last minute. That was last minute. So
Twister Umaplata.
Bryce Mitchell, I will say, I think a lot of times when people have a hard time fighting, he's funky. He's like
Yeah.
awkward, and because a lot of times the person that's hard to fight is someone who's very awkward like that because they don't move in traditional patterns or techniques, you know. And what I will say about Bryce Mitchell, he is loco. That's the thing about John Silva and Bryce Mitchell. What they got going for them mentally is they may be fucking nuts, but they 100% believe in themselves.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that goes a long way.
They're both a little crazy, for sure.
All right, official switch, Bryce Mitchell. You convinced me, dude, with everything you said.
I mean, it's not a bad.
Yeah.
If you put money on that, that's a nice payday right
Bro,
there.
Bryce,
You know?
he could ruin the night, bro. He could definitely ruin
All right, let's
the
both
night.
put 100 on Bryce.
All right, on my bookie. Come on.
My book. Use the promo code The Casuals.
Promo.
All right, this is the new fight after Prates fight was canceled.
Dominic Reyes and Krylov. Ooh.
I don't know much about Krylov.
I have no idea.
Striker.
He's a striker.
Striker, yeah.
He's a striker. He hits hard. Dominic Reyes has kind of, found a new rhythm. I don't know what he's gone through. BetterHelp therapy. This podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. No, but he's been kind of going through like a mental journey right now where he's kind of believing in himself a lot more. He's definitely, I don't know, man. Dominic Reyes might have it back again.
I got Dom, bro.
Same with me.
I'm going Dom.
I'll go Dom too.
All right. And those are our picks for the main card, but any other, there's some bangers on the other card.
Dan
Ige, Sean Woodson, 145.
Sean Woodson got the weirdest body on earth, dude.
Dude, you know he used to be a heavyweight?
Dude, what? He was a boxer, right?
Yeah.
He's a legit boxer.
He's 6'2" at our weight. I was like, what?
He's abnormally tall.
6'2" at 145? That's fucking nuts. I was 145 pounds in the third grade. That's insane.
You can box for sure.
Yeah, he just knocked out Padilla too. That guy
That's
is
right.
The longest limbs ever, dude. What would be like your tactic against somebody like Sean Woodson because he's so lanky?
Oh, I mean, very, very similar to my last one. I would definitely chop his legs, and you got to, with him, you got to neutralize the jab. That's the first thing you got to do with Sean Woodson. Doesn't move like the last guy I fought.
Gomis.
You know, he has good movement, but he's not super slick. He's just super tall, and he is slick, but he's not like the last guy I fought slick, and you just got to neutralize his jab and get him going. And
you think Dan Ige is going to be able to handle that reach?
This is a hard one, dude. This is a hard one. I don't know. I'm gonna go with my boy Dan Ige
because he's a fellow dog.
Yeah,
you know?
he's a fellow dog, and I hope he gets that win. I just think he needs to be better at neutralizing that jab. You know, just from his other fights, he could have been better doing that, and kind of because if you always have to reset like out of his range, in his range, out of it, like you lose a lot of energy. You know, that's why I don't really do that in front of you. But I also I'm sturdy. You know, like I don't get hurt, you know. So that's what Sean Woodson is a really good boxer. So if he starts picking you apart with the jab, it's gonna be a long night, you know.
Damn.
Never bet against a Hawaiian.
50K, baby.
50K all day. Man, a lot of other good fights on here.
Jim Miller, Chase Hooper,
Jan and our
Verna?
girl, Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. I love that, dude.
Let's go, Verna. Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. Damn.
They just keep feeding Chase Hooper the oldest fighters
dudes
on the roster. Dude. That's what they keep. The youngest person versus the oldest person. They keep doing that.
Chase Hooper ain't even good. He's just a jiu-jitsu dude. Like fighting him, just like run out there, flying knee knockout. I don't know what do you want me to knock him out with? Just let me know. Dude. He's just slow twitch and like I'm sorry, bro.
All right, what about Darren Elkins, Julian Rose? What you think about those dudes?
Oh shit.
It's just those are two other guys that are just hanging on in there, you know. Darren Elkin just takes a beating, bro.
He can't stop.
He doesn't.
Fuck, bro. Like, ouch, bro. Like, Julian Rosa, Darren Elkins. I don't know, dude.
Darren Elkins, it takes too much damage to the face. Man.
Yeah,
It's kinda
maybe
hard to
Julian
watch.
Rosa.
I'll go younger guy on that.
Yeah.
Going to damage, dude.
Oh man.
21 Savage, let's go.
Let's go.
He does look like 21
We
Savage.
always
What the
said.
heck?
Straight up 21 Savage,
Say
man.
Drakus.
Cedricus.
Hey,
I don't think we're saying that right for sure.
we're not saying this right.
Suma Derji. Suma Dick G.
Why you say it Indian?
Yeah. Suma Derji. Suma Derji.
Didn't know he was Indian.
From China. What are you talking about? Damn. Well, guys, those are our picks. Make sure you use our promo code TheCasuals and use my bookie. Dude, so you don't have a fight lined up, but you want one.
You want some in the summer.
So we're looking at Zalal. Hey, Hunter Campbell. Zalal.
This is free game right here, dude.
Zalal. Who else we got?
Zalal and Kattar, you know. Ortega? They said Ortega's going up a weight. I'll fight him up in lightweight. I'll fight him. You know, like that seems like a fun fight to me. You know, just a jiu-jitsu guy. You know, so he has some stand-up, but he's not explosive like that. I just think I'm just too much for him.
Damn, so you only want top 10 right now?
I want top 10, top 15 because I beat the number 22 guy who just beat Jonathan Brito, who was number 16. I'm like, since I beat a number 20 guy, let me get someone in the top 15. You know, so I'll fight any of those guys. Zalal, Gigadzi.
Oh, he been
right? He's fighting.
He's fighting, huh? I think the only ones free right now is Zalal and Calvin Kattar.
Yeah.
I looked up everyone.
You don't got nothing.
Or I'll do Arnold Allen too.
That'd be sick. Yeah. Right to the number 7 spot.
Damn.
Yeah, any of those fights, it's very exciting to watch.
Yeah, I'm down for those.
That'd be great.
I think fan wise, for the fans, Kattar would be the best one because we just bang. You know?
Yeah.
And Zalal, he's gonna try to dance. He tries to bang on me. It's gonna be a very, very easy night for me, you know. And but Kattar seems like the funnest fight, you know. And that's what everyone wants. So that's what the fight I'd like to push for. I hope he's free this summer.
Damn.
Let's go.
Well,
there it is.
Pack your bags. You're getting out the UFC. You're fighting back in the LFA, you fucking runner. All right. Yeah, this is
Hey, tell him you're joking. Tell him you're joking. That's your camera right there.
Hey, let me tell you something, guy. I'm not joking. That last fight was atrocious. The fact that you ran for a whole round, that third round, you ran away for 5 minutes was one of the worst things I've ever seen in the UFC. Just from a fan standpoint, right? It's like, come on. We pay money for this. You know what I mean, to run for a whole round. You did what you did in the first round.
Yeah.
Second round you ran, and third round you ran again. Come on, man.
Because ESPN Plus is not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's very expensive. We're in an economic downturn. There's these things called tariffs. All right.
Tariffs.
This black guy named
For some reason, Tarif is fucking up our economy. I don't know what's going on with him.
He's
everywhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't like Chinese people. You know what I mean?
Chinese.
So come on, man. Zalal, I'm pretty sure you're great and skilled and all, but nobody wants to see you run. I don't like it.
Give us 38 punch knockouts on ESPN Plus.
This has never ran ever in their life. Me, okay. So I think I can dance though. So because there's guys who want to brawl with me, and I want to show everyone. Like that's why I'm excited to fight guys who are like a little shorter than me, like John Silva, Oyo Taporia, Movzar, any of those guys, because I just want to show that I'm slick like that too. And
let's fucking go.
Because I can fight you from the outside, but I'm not running, you know. So I want to show everyone that side also.
Dude, tell us your handle, and then what's your gym you own?
Oh, my gym is called Hack MMA. Stands for Hurricane Athletics and Combat in San Rafael, California. That's in Marin County. Come, guys, check it out if you'd like. I got an awesome team. It's boxing. It's mostly boxing, Muay Thai, and MMA. I got a huge striking team right now, and you guys can reach me at Hurricane_415. That's my Instagram. Again, Hurricane_415. Or check out my website, HyderTheFighter.com.
What?
Tyrone Spong.
Yeah, I was just at the seminar, and this is one of the guys I've always looked up to, so I really wanted a picture of him.
Did Tyrone Spong get buffer?
Yeah, dude.
He looks massive.
Oh, he's huge.
What the
He's been fighting heavyweight now.
Holy shit.
He's going to fight Sam Alvey at the Karate Combat.
Sam Alvey's gonna die. That's not Alvey.
He's in gi pants, though. He's in gi
I know.
Oh, it's in gi pants. You can't check.
That's a fun little ring, dude. I cornered someone there. It's pretty cool, you know. So I think it's a sick fight.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Tyrone Spong.
Damn. Well, dude, everyone just give it up for Hyder.
Come on,
dude.
baby.
Come on, dude.
Can't wait to see where you go, baby.
Don't rock the wall.